Hey Professor, it's Hunter. It's my final presentation. With Screencast-O-Matic, you had to upgrade in order to capture the desktop audio, so videos wouldn't actually work, so I just removed the videos from my presentation. It would just kind of buffer to the whole thing anyways. Anyways, this is an analysis of Canadian criminalization of illicit substances. In 2016 alone, there were almost 3,000 opioid deaths in Canada, which I believe works out to about 16 hospitalizations a day. This is clearly an epidemic of drastic proportions, whether we want to face it or not. These deaths, in my opinion, are often overlooked as many problems with the drug using community are, just because of the fact that people overlook drug abusers as being lesser than your average human. So my opinion is that Canada should decriminalize and regulate all non-prescription drugs, because addicts are not criminals. And 68% of those caught for burglary in the U.S. tested positive for illicit substances. So this is, to me, there's a misconception of the data being presented. So the data does show that criminals are drug users. However, the data does not show that drug users are criminals. So this here, the 68%, you can tell clearly the majority of people involved in burglary are drug users. And this piece of information is often hyperbolized and extrapolated and inverted in order to present the idea that people who use drugs are criminal. So a few more stats here. 21% of the population will meet the criteria for addiction. And in 2019, there were a total of 189,546 guilty verdicts carried out in Canada. So, doing the math there, there's a discrepancy, of about 5,800,000 drug users in Canada who are not committing crimes, who do not commit crimes. This whole idea that drug users are criminals is fundamentally flawed and needs to be reevaluated. Money is going to the wrong people. We haven't had a lot of data to help us see just how much money we have been using to illegal groups and cartels, criminal enterprises. We haven't had data to show how much money we're losing to them until really the past couple of years. The best data we've had is via the prohibition of alcohol, which was then lifted, and clearly alcohol has been an absolute success for the Western economy. And more recently, we have started to legalize marijuana in certain states and our country, and that has given us invaluable data to tell us, what might occur once we remove the regulations on these substances. So in 2020, we have retail sales in Canada grossed over 2.6 billion, which is just an astronomical sum of money, especially when you imagine that money before the legalization of marijuana was going directly into the hands of criminal enterprises as opposed to into the hands of the Canadian government, Canadian population. So in the 12 months before January, the U.S. reported 72,000 drug-related deaths. And the 12 months, that was 12 months before January 2020. And 12 months before April 2021, there was almost 100,000 deaths. So, going by this data, it's easy to see drug use is increasing, and drug safety, knowledge, and awareness surrounding the dangers of these drugs is not increasing. So if this more than 35% increase in the death rate can be translated in any way to the amount of drugs that people are using, or the amount of drug users that exist, then we're looking at maybe a more than 35% increase in profit being lost or being handed directly to criminal enterprises, basically from the taxpayer's pocket into the pocket of criminal enterprises. Future prisoners could be future workers. The Canadian prison system has been burdened for so long, not quite like the U.S., but 2.6 billion in 1 year for an incarceration program seems like a lot to me. Ling reported that each inmate takes about $110,000 per year to house and feed when they're in our jails. Just such an astronomical amount of money. I imagine how you or I would be living off $110,000 a year. 2015 to 2018, cannabis-related crimes dropped significantly. This is a very important point because it goes to show that immediately after regulations are lifted, the crime rate objectively is decreased. There are simply going to be less prisoners and more people rehabilitated if we remove these regulations. So, in conclusion, Canada should decriminalize and regulate all non-prescription drugs. We are suffering from an epidemic of drug abuse and unawareness of surrounding the drug abuse and the drugs that are being abused. If Canada is brave enough to upend the fundamentals that it has baked into its society, then we can tackle this problem in a new, ambitious, and hopefully successful way. Thank you.